leg was his. Yes. Well done.
Tis Alirien and Beau, and we are back at the Louisiana Renaissance Festival for their Myth and Magic weekend. We have just arrived and have walked about. We are about to get some food to start off the day as usual, and we shall go from there. We're heading up to the new vendors over by the Paradox on this new back loop to see what there is that we might want. I am letting him lead the way because he is hungrier than I am. But yes, it does.
Legit baked potato company.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good idea.
It does. Alright, so I have, at least for now, had to forego the headdress because it was a little too loose, and every time I tried to tilt my head forward, back, left, right, it was starting to slide, and the last thing I need it doing is sliding all the way off and hitting the deck. So it is tied to my belt, and I will either fix it later or just play with it another time to really figure out exactly how it needs to sit on my bare head. We have eaten. We did end up getting something from the Get Baked Potato Company. We got the Duke, which was a baked potato with mac and cheese, and we added the smoked pork topped with barbecue sauce. It was delicious. It was just the right size for the two of us to split, at least for now, until we get hungry again. And now we are walking about. There are some people doing the quest. There's a new tarot reader there behind my shoulder. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous day. It's not too hot, not too cold, not super windy.
Just die! 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 Jenny! Harry doesn't love you! Hermione, you should have been with Harry, not Ron! That's what the fans wanted! Come the voice of the crowd entire. Do what you say. No man!
No man!
I'm not a woman born!
I'm not a woman born!
Can harm Macbeth!
Can harm Macbeth!
I don't think this will be a laughing tonight, please, tonight.
So I did tighten the headdress and get it back on. It feels much more snug. When working with any sort of headdress like this, or at least the ones from Valkyrie's Vanguard, try it on. If it feels too loose, take it back off and bend it tighter, because the whole thing is wire. But it's very well constructed. I've bumped it a few times and so far it's holding up. And I love my little spider friend there. That's why I also wore the one on the choker today. But we have seen Master Shakespeare and the Birds of Prey show, both fantastic. But we are just walking about for a little bit. Are you getting hungry at all for anything else so far, or just happy to be here? Okay. So we will continue to walk about. Maybe we'll purchase something, maybe not. We're kind of wanting to save some of our funds for next weekend when we'll be in Texas. Most of our purchases here at this festival will likely be the final weekend after we're sure we've gotten everything in Texas that we could possibly hope for. The crowd level is not too terribly bad. And as I said before, it's a very, very comfortable day.
Now this is the final trick of the show, after which I will be passing my hat. Can't afford to drop in a 10 or a 20, that's beautiful, it helps offset my travel expenses. All I ask is at the end of the show, when I do take my final bow, I do not want to arise to find that you have just disappeared. It's not a magic show. If you enjoyed the show, come up and tell me in person. Give me a fist bump, an elbow tap, or my favorite, a foot five. Foot five is a simple instep to instep tap. It is not a game of kick the juggle.
the evening once again, and once again had a very lovely day. I think one thing I've noticed is I tend to go a bit heavier with just general b-roll of what's going on and not as much in the way of stopping to talk to the camera while I'm at Ren Fair, so I will try to do better with that sort of thing. But I believe after the last time I spoke directly to the camera, we headed around toward Paradox and saw the tail end of a stunt show, which you will have seen a clip of. The final stunt of his show was great. I have not shown the stunt here in the video because I'm trying to film and show glimpses of the performers without just giving away their whole show, as a means of encouraging everybody who watches to actually go to Ren Fair and see these performers in person. I'm not going to take potential revenue and potential audiences from these performers by putting their whole show online so that people can't be bothered to buy a ticket and go see them in person. That is also why you will see bits of Shakespeare Approves, but not the whole play. That's why you will see a clip of one of Chase Treasure's songs, but not the entire song and not the whole show. I'm trying to showcase all of the performers and the vendors while maintaining a level of respect of not showing the merchandise too directly, because I don't want to fuel any potential copycats who are going to steal ideas and sell them for cheaper and steal customers, nor do I want to steal audiences by putting a performer's entire show on the internet so that people can be lazy and not bother buying a ticket to go to a Ren Fair to see them in person and potentially tip them and buy their merchandise and so on. Anyway, we saw the tail end of that stunt show and we stopped by a little shop called Hooks and Chains. It's a little crochet shop. Most of their goods are crocheted stuffed animals. They also had some finger puppets and stuffed animals, as well as crochet hooks and crochet yarn bowls. And I'm gonna go grab it to show a proper image of the whole thing, but I got a little wooden owl yarn bowl because I've been learning crochet. I haven't picked it up in a while. I need to do that. I need to do that more within the next year, but I've been starting to learn crochet and I immediately realized that having to mind the skein of yarn while also minding the actual crocheting is very difficult. So having the bowl that creates the tension for you will be very, very helpful. And he was a cute little owl. One of the two people working in the vendor's booth said as I purchased it that it was their last owl that they had in stock that day. So I am taking that as serendipity because I've always loved owls. They're wonderful birds. Mundanely, realistically, what they actually are, as well as all the different things that they represent. I just love owls. So yeah, I'm very happy with my little owl bowl. Here is, as I'm talking about it, a little clip of that so you can see it. Very simple little wooden owl yarn bowl. Walked back up to Painted Badger and saw Chased Treasure's show and got a couple of fresh drinks. I've been getting the Queen Royale the last couple times we've gone to Painted Badger. It is delicious. It's champagne, pineapple juice, and Crown whiskey. Very, very good, with a couple of chunks of pineapple and a cherry in there. It's delicious. After that, we walked around a little bit more. I looked around in one of the shops that has been there for years. Some people just call it the Dead Things shop. I need to actually put the proper name in here. At some point, I have purchased from there before. I have a beautiful reserved blue morpho butterfly that I got from there a couple years ago. What I want to do is get one of their furs to add to Sybil's look because she is nobility. They would have hunters, they would be able to afford the fur. I just need to double check which kind of fur would be acceptable for her to have, because there were laws more to do with the type of animal, but somewhat to do with the color of that type of animal. Part of the sumptuary laws covered which kinds of fur you were allowed to have. I think most of what they sell there is technically acceptable, but I just want to double check before we get one, especially because they're expensive. So I don't want to spend the multiple hundreds of dollars on the wrong kind of fur. And they've got like a bunch of nifty like earrings and stuff made out of bone bits, and they have skulls. And it was as we were starting to walk back around to our friends at Weird Armories to see if they needed any help or just wanted some company for the end of the day that Cannon sounded at the end of fair. So we did walk back around, helped them pack up, and headed back home, and here we are. And I just got done streaming as well, so that's squared away for the evening. Another lovely, lovely day. The weather was perfect today. I do not think it could have been more pristine, and I am grateful to all of the spirits and deities associated with weather, especially here in Louisiana, for giving us such a blessed glorious day for a Ren fair because it was so comfy. In the direct sun, it was very warm in this dress. Before we even got the potato, I had sweat rolling down my back under the dress. But it's because it's dark colors. This is a thing I accept is going to happen. We had a lovely time. I'm trying to make an effort to see more of the shows that I don't normally stop to see. We'll be back to Louisiana Renaissance Festival once more this year for their final weekend, their firework weekend, and actually you will hopefully have a Sybil bringing you around that day to get her opinions and reactions to things. In the meantime, I have some things to take care of for packing for Texas Ren Fest and also preparing for this week in general. I'm not going to be doing any sewing tonight. I'm going to leave that for tomorrow. I do at the very least need to take care of my packing. I will bid you all a good night. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, you know where all those buttons and links are, right? If nothing else, I hope you will subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so you never miss a video. If you would like to keep up with my adventures on other social media planes, you can find my Linktree linked in the description below. And if you would like more content like this video specifically, I have all of my events linked in the cards and in the doobly-doo. As always, I would like to give a huge special thanks to my coven of patrons who continue to be my biggest supporters. And if you, dear viewer, would like to join their ranks, again, check that link tree for my Patreon, which begins at $1 a month. Stay tuned for more Sybil build footage, more Ren Fair footage, more Breath of the Wild gaming footage, all the footage. And I will talk to you all again very soon. Keep it, my loves. Mwah.